Okay, so let's create a new folder if you don't have that, or you can just create file. So the first file, as usual, index.html. Then our next file will be what? Star.css. You can use any name for this. Okay, so yesterday we look at the introduction to CSS, HTML and CSS, where we saw some of the tags that are commonly used in HTML and some of the properties that are used in CSS. But today we are going to move straight to Flexbox. What is Flexbox? All right. So Flexbox is just um is just a layout model. It's just a layout model. I would say it's a strategy that we use to lay out our website. As the name sound, Flexbox. So it's flexible. It makes laying out of website very, very simple. If only you understand it, it makes your life easier as a developer. Apart from Flexbox, we also have the advanced one, which is called CSS Grid. So the difference between Flexbox and the CSS Grid is Flexbox is normally one dimensional is one dimensional array or something. Then what do you call it? CSS Grid is two dimensional or multi-dimensional. So that's just the
Yeah,
introduction.
Robert, can
Yeah,
you comment the differences?
I said that with the Flexbox
Yeah.
is normally used for one dimension, one dimension at a time. That is either row or column. We will get there because some of these terms, when I mention it, maybe you'll be confused.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's start. Let's start. Please, how many of you have the GitHub account? Do you have GitHub account? Guys, do you have the GitHub account?
It looks like I used to have
No,
one. I don't
no.
know whether I can still.
Because after today I'll give you project and we are going to use Git. If not, next week, God willing, I will introduce you to Git. Though I've already done that with the previous class, and I'll just brush on it for you next week. Then we see. But I have to give you assignment today.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I have to give you assignment today. Okay, so Flexbox. Let's start. So it's just a simple way of laying out your website. So we are going to learn how to lay out a website. That's all. So let's learn the properties, then use it for any project that we get. So let's go to our HTML file. Just use the emit to generate the starter code for you. So let me say day two, or let me use Flexbox as the name since we are going to learn Flexbox today. Okay, so let me just create a box. Since we are learning Flexbox, let me create a box. Let me create about 2 or 3 boxes. So let me the class name will be parent. That's it. We have the parent class. Then inside the parent class, we have the children. So with the children, let me create 5 children. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So the next thing, let me link my CSS to my HTML. You guys know how to do that already. So let me just write it star.css here. Before we preview, let's give our box height, width, and border colors. So how do you do that? Yesterday we learned how to do those things. So all that you have to do is let's select the class, which is what? Child, the children class. let's give them height of 200 pixels, and let's give it a weight of also 200 pixels. Then border color or border, the border will be 2 pixels solid blue, or let me use any color. Okay, so right now let's view what we have on the screen. It's not anything. I'm just creating boxes. So on the screen I'm expecting to see about 5 boxes in a vertical way. So let me preview it for you guys to see. Okay, so this is our box. So right now we have we have 5 boxes on the screen. Let's give them background colors. So we want to give them different background colors. How do you do that? If you want to do that, then you have to give them the individual box an ID, or you can give them different classes for that. If not, we can still use one color for all of them. So background, just give it a background of what's that color? Potato or something. I'm not seeing it. So let me use orange. All right. So in the whenever you create a website, the usual layout moves from moves in the vertical direction. So that's what we are seeing on the screen. It moves in the vertical direction. Whatever you are going to add to your page, it will move from top to down. So how do you lay out this website? How do you make it horizontal? How do you move the boxes and the rest? So you are going to learn about these technologies. So let's start. When you come here with Flexbox,
Well,
we have
yeah.
two ways of using Flexbox. The
Yeah,
first
do.
one is
Yeah.
the container or the parent. You talk to the
You
parent.
have a class online.
You talk to the parent.
You have a
Um,
class online.
please, can you mute your mic?
Uh,
Grace, can you mute your mic? Okay. So as I was explaining, I said with Flexbox, we have two ways of using Flexbox, or we have two ways of using Flexbox. That's you talk to the parent before the children. Normally, all the properties under Flexbox will be for the parent. Few ones will be for the children. So let's see, how do you lay out this in the horizontal direction? How do you do that? So all that you have to do is come to your CSS. Let me divide it into two so that I will not be switching. Let me bring it here. Okay. So when you come here, just call the parent class. The class called what? Parent. And the first property that you are going to look at is display. So you call the parent class, then give it a property of display flex. That's the first property under Flexbox. Display and the value is what? Flex. Display and the value is what? Flex. So let's save it and see what we have on the screen. So you see right now it is moving in the horizontal direction, or it is moving in the x-axis. Guys, are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So right now we are looking at the directions. So I said when you start creating any website, the normal flow or the usual flow of the site is from in the what do you got y-axis. When I say y-axis, I know we all did mathematics in school, so you know the x and the y-axis. So it moves in the y-axis. So if you want to change the direction, since we are going to use Flexbox, all that you have to do, the first thing you have to do is you talk to the parent. It's not always parent though. I'm just using this as the relationship between the parent and the children. So you talk to the parent and all the children will follow. That's how it works. So this is the first property, display flex. That's the first property. That's the first property under Flexbox, display flex. So under after this, the next thing, as I was explaining, that we have two flows. We have the horizontal and you have the what? The vertical flow. The same thing, you can do that in Flexbox. So after giving it a display of flex, so automatically this one takes the x axis, meaning we also have the y axis. So how do you change the direction of this? You can do that by just giving it out flex. So the next property under Flexbox is flex direction. Flex direction. So by default, it is using row. This one, it is using this. What if we want to change it to how it was? You can just use what? The column. So let's go back and check. Guys, have you seen the difference now? So this is the first thing that I want you guys to know under Flexbox. Under Flexbox, the first property is the flex itself. Under Flexbox, the first property under Flexbox is the flex itself. And that one shows just the direction. And I'm saying that with the direction, we have the x-axis and we have the y-axis. So in Flexbox, if you want to use the x-axis, you can just use what? Flex, without using flex direction, which is what? Row. But if you want to change it to the what do you call it? To the vertical, then you use what? Flex direction, which is what? Column. So it depends on what you are doing. It depends on what you are doing. Right now, let's learn all the properties. After that, our first task will be how to create a navigation bar, because this is always the first thing that you'll be doing in any website. You always create the navigation bar. So we are going to
Senior
learn.
Robert, please let me throw in a question before you continue.
Okay.
Why is it that the two directions are there in the CSS, but the preview has decided to give preference to only the column? And because I can still see that display flex is in the CSS.
Okay.
Is it?
It is in the CSS as in?
It is still there. I can still see it. Why didn't the preview choose the horizontal rather, and decided to choose the vertical, the column?
Okay. So you mean without specifying the direction? Why is it using vertical and not horizontal?
No, now that, so is it because the top one you didn't? So the top one, if you had done direction row
here,
yes, if you had done flex direction row,
okay, without using a flex,
yes,
it won't work.
It will not work. Okay.
Because we are dealing with Flexbox. Always the first property under Flexbox is the flex itself.
Is the flex itself. Okay.
Yes. So let's try that one.
Okay, sir.
Flex direction. Row right. Let's see. Is it working? Abdul. Hi. Are you on the line?
I'm here.
Is it working?
No, it's not working.
Yeah, it didn't work. So
yes,
with Flexbox, as I said, always the first property is flex. The first property is flex. So let me go back to that. So
Exactly.
display, and the value is what? Flex.
Flex. Okay.
Yes. So this one will take the what do you call it? The horizontal axis, or the x, that's the x axis. It will take the x axis. But if you don't want this direction, then you can come down and tell Flexbox that no, I don't want this direction. So use flex direction to be what? Column. So we have row and column, which we know in our basic schools, where we used to sit in rows and column. So that's it. That's it.
Okay.
That's the first two properties. So I said with Flexbox, the first property is display, and the value is what? Flex. Then if you don't want the directions, the next one is what? Flex direction, which has it has four what do you call it? Values. We have row, column, row reverse, and column reverse. All right. So what is the difference between those reverse? As the name sound, let's use column reverse right now, since we are using column. Guys, who can tell me what will happen before we go and view it in the browser? Who can tell me what will happen? Don't run it. Tell me.
Maybe it will go and bring 5 first before 5, 4, 3, 1, 2, 1.
Yes, reverse. So as the name sound, it's just going to reverse the children. It's going to reverse their order. So let's go down. Let's go and check what is going on. So you can see now it's starting from where? 5, 4, 3, 2, and what? 1. Guys, do you understand it?
Yes, we do.
Yes. So that's all about the flex directions. The next property is the flex wrap. Flex wrap. Flex wrap. What is the flex wrap? This property, we will come back to this property again. But let me introduce this. Flex wrap. You know that now any website that you build should be responsive to both mobile, tablet, and what? Large screens. We all know that. You can't just build those olden days website now for your client. Just building a website for what do you call it? Building website. I think right now we have 10 million. Building website for only large devices. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so right now, let me change the direction to horizontal. So what is happening in Flexbox? All disturbing. Samuel Kofi, please, you are disturbing the class. All right. Hello. Please, if you are not talking, just mute your mic. Okay, so the next property is called flex wrap. And I'm saying that by default, all the flex items, when I talk about the items, that is the children, they all try to fit into one line. They all try to fit into one line. That is, if we increase this, let's duplicate this one again. They all try and use the same line. What's happening? Okay, so let's go back and see. Guys, have you seen what is going on? Let's try and duplicate it again. They would never go to the next line. Is that how it works? No, because we have about 15 boxes here. and they are all trying to use the same line, meaning even if you have about 50 boxes, they will all try and use this, they will all try to use this row, which is not the normal, um this is not how it should happen. Since it is about, let's say, we can say 10 should be on the same row, and then the next one should move to the next row. So how do you do that in Flexbox? We use the property which is called what? Flex wrap. Flex wrap. So with the flex wrap, by default, it has no wrap value. No wrap value. That is why it is behaving this way. That's why it's behaving this way. So if you want it to move to the next line automatically, you use flex wrap, and like I said, so these are the values. We have no wrap, we have wrap, wrap reverse, and the others. The ones that you'll be using most, that is no wrap, wrap, and wrap reverse. So let's use this one and see what we have now. Guys, do you see what I'm seeing? So automatically it breaks to the next line. Please, do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Please, can you
Okay.
go over it again?
Okay. Okay, so we are looking at the properties one after the other. When we are done, we put them together to build a complete website. That is what I'm doing now. And right now we have looked at display flex, which I've explained. And I went on to explain the flex direction. The third property that we are looking at right now is called flex wrap. And I'm saying that with Flexbox, that one is flex wrap, we are talking to the children. No matter the number of children that you have inside one parent, they will all try to squeeze themselves to use the same what, the same row. Even if it is 1,000, they will all use the same row, meaning they will adjust themselves. They will override this. See, though we gave them a height of what, 200, and a weight of 200, they will override those numbers, then try to squeeze themselves to fit the same line. So if you don't want that to happen, what do you do? All that you have to do is you just give it what, a flex wrap. Flex wrap. That one automatically it will move some of them to the next line. And I'm saying that with the flex wrap, it has three main attributes or values. We have the wrap, wrap reverse, and no wrap. And I'm saying that by default, it uses no wrap. Guys, do you understand? So let's use flex wrap. So it moves the rest to the next line in that order. Please, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. So right now we have learned about three properties right now. We have the flex direction, and the flex wrap. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is justify content. The next one is justify content. The next property that we are going to look at is called justify content. I don't know the number of time left. I think it will end right now.
4 minutes.
We have 4 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. Please let me know when it's 1 minute so that I stop, or let's say some seconds.
I hear. I'll do that.
Uh-huh. Okay. So the next property that we are going to look at now. I hope you guys are taking notes. Please take notes.
Before then,
Mm-hmm.
why is it that the Flexbox itself decided to count how many boxes to put in a row? Can you specify how many boxes? So can I specify that put 5 boxes or put 7 boxes in a row?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
You can do that. That is the work of the parent.
Okay.
So you can just come to the parent and specify that this parent one has 5 children. So you put all the 5 children on one row. Parent 2 has 10 children. Put all their children on another row. or parent 2 has 10 children. So as a parent 2 children, I want them to be on one column, not row. You can do anything that you want with Flexbox.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So the next one is justify content. That's the next property. Justify content. So we are now going to learn how to position the children. Justify content. So let me remove some of them. I think I also do. So let's maintain the 5. Justify content. Justify content. So all that justify content does is it allows you to position the children. It allows you to create spaces and position them. So what do you want to, so let's see some of the values. Justify content. So with this one, we have so many values, but I think we can just limit ourselves to 4 or 5 for now, because these are the ones that you'll be using quite often. This is what you'll be using quite often. Like yesterday, I told you with normal CSS, we have so many CSS properties that you should learn, but even at the end of the day, you are not going to use all of them. So with justify content, we are going to limit ourselves to the ones that you'll be using. You know, you are not in the normal traditional class that I'll just pour everything on you guys. We are going to use the ones that we are going to learn the ones that we are using. Okay, so the first one is flex end. Let's use flex start. So by default, let's save it and see. Nothing happens. Why? This is because this is the starting. So if you specify that you should use this value, it is at the same place, so nothing will happen. Let's use flex end and see. Flex end. Look at what is happening. Guys, are you following? So we have moved the entire box to the what do you call, all the boxes to the right side of the website. So this is if you guys are getting the clue, this is one of the simplest way of creating a navigation bar. Okay, then the next one is center. Just center. Up we are writing the properties down, we are noting them down. Center. So that will be at the center of the page. That will be at the center of the page. Then another one is space between. Space between. So as the name sound, it's going to create or